Once upon a time, in the heart of a bustling city lived a wee little Havroshechka. Now this wasn't just any Havroshechka. Oh no, this little Havroshechka was special. You see, her name was Sarah, and she had a heart as big as the moon and a curiosity that knew no bounds. Every day after her morning prayers, Sarah would skip down to the bakery, her nose twitching with delight at the aroma of fresh bread. There she would sit by the window, sipping her hot chocolate and munching on a sweet babka, watching the world go by. She loved seeing the happy faces of customers leaving with their loaves of bread, their smiles as radiant as the sun. But one day something unusual happened. A tall man with a long white beard entered the bakery. He walked up to the counter, his eyes scanning the rows of breads. "I'm looking for a special bread," he said to the baker, his voice as deep as the man's. "A bread with a hole in it?" The baker looked at him, puzzled. "A bread with a hole in it? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't have such a thing." The man sighed. "Then I shall wait," he said, and sat down on a chair by the window, right where Sarah was sitting. Sarah, who had been watching this exchange with wide eyes, couldn't help but giggle. The man turned, startled, and glared at her. "Why are you laughing, little girl?" he asked, his voice booming like thunder. "I'm sorry," Sarah said, wiping away a tear from her eye. "But it's just that you reminded me of a babka." The man frowned. "A what?" "A babka," Sarah repeated, pointing to the sweet bread that she was munching on. "It's a bread with a hole in it." The man looked at the babka, then back at Sarah, and a slow smile spread across his face. "Well, that's not what I had in mind," he said, chuckling. Perhaps you could help me. Do you know anyone who could make me a bread with a hole in it?" "Of course," Sarah said, her eyes twinkling. "My papa knows everyone in town. He can make anything out of dough, even a bread with a hole in it." The man's face lit up. "That would be wonderful," he said. "Will you take me to him?" "Of course," Sarah replied, hopping off her chair. And so she skipped out of the bakery, the man following close behind, and together they went to find her papa. When they arrived at the house, Sarah ran inside and shouted, "Papa, Papa, I brought a customer." Her papa, who was kneading dough on the table, smiled and wiped his hands on his apron. "A customer, eh?" "Well, come in," he boomed. And when the man entered, Sarah's papa's eyes popped wide. "It's the man from the mountain," he exclaimed. "What brings you here, my friend?" "I need a special bread," the man said, "a bread with a hole in it." Papa looked at him for a moment, then burst out laughing. "A bread with a hole in it," he echoed. "That's an easy one. Just leave it to me." And with that he got to work. He rolled out the dough, his muscles bulging as he lifted it up in the air. Then, with a quick flick of his wrist, he made a hole in the center. The man watched, mesmerized, as the papa filled the hole with delicious ingredients, creating a savory masterpiece. Soon enough, the bread was ready. It was golden-hued with a crusty exterior and a soft, fluffy interior. The man took it, his hands trembling with excitement, and took a bite, his eyes closed in pure bliss. "This is the most delicious bread I've ever tasted," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Sarah," he added, turning to the little girl who beamed up at him. And so the man from the mountain took the bread with a hole in it back to his home, where he shared it with his family and friends. And whenever they ate it, they remembered the wee little Havroshechka from the bakery and the kind-hearted baker who made their day with a simple loaf of bread.